119 verse 46 says, I will speak to kings about your decrees and I will not be ashamed. I love it. I will speak to kings about your decrees and I will not be ashamed. How many of you would like to share what God spoke to you in your morning devotion? If you read the Bible in the morning and God spoke to you, aren't you excited to share it with at least one person whom you bump into that day? You must. Very often, that word you speak will turn to be prophetic for that person you're sharing that word with. So share it. How did my preaching ministry begin? Whatever I understood. I got saved at 11 years old. And whatever I understood from the Bible, that time I started a prayer cell in my colony, church colony as it was called. And I shared. I had a notebook, diary notebook. I wrote out whatever God taught me from the passage I read, and I shared it. And today, after doing MDiv and after having registered for Doctor of Ministry program at HSBC, if I read those notes, I will laugh. Because I know some of that is crap. I mean, that is not sound doctrine. But what I knew at that time, I shared. I was faithful in little things. Then God, in His mercy, found it fit to reveal more things to me. Now, if you're not sharing what God has already revealed to you, the little what God has revealed to you, how will He trust you with real riches from the Word of God, which you can release to thousands and millions? I'm not speaking to an ordinary group here. You may be 13 or 14 or 15 or 16 or 17 or 19. But in this group, with my eyes of faith, I see Bible teachers who will preach to 1,000 people, 10,000 people. I see stadium-filling evangelists who will preach the gospel of Jesus Christ in simplicity and power and with unction. But it has to begin now. It has to begin now. It has to begin now. Export it. Export it. Ezra 7:10 says, Ezra, what did you set your heart on? What is your heart set on today? That's the question I want to ask you. What is your heart set on tonight? The second day of this camp. What is your heart set on? What was Ezra's heart set on? Ezra 7:10 says, to study the law of God. First, to do the law of God. Second, and thirdly, to teach His statutes and rules in Israel. Study, live it, and teach it. Simple. That's why when I was working in HSBC, before I quit last November, even when the break was only 15 minutes, we would move to a corner of the office where no one would come. And there's sometimes one person, two persons, three persons, four persons. At that midnight hour, 12:15 in the night, I would read one verse from the Bible and preach a one-sentence sermon. Because I believed the Bible is for exporting, not saving inside, but for exporting. And people have told me, Duke, I was blessed by what you shared. It was not important that Duke shared it. You shared it, people will be blessed. God I serve is not a partial God. What He has done for me, He will do for you, even in a greater measure. So export it. In your school, why can't, if your lunch break in your school is 40 minutes, why can't you eat fast and move to a tree in some corner of your campus, sit with one other friend and read one verse of the Bible and explain that one verse, whatever you understood, and pray with that person on a regular basis, which I did. It's possible. It's possible. It can be done. It must be done. It must be done.